నమస్తే. ఈరోజు వీడియోలో నేను నాతో తరచూ మాట్లాడే నా క్లయింట్ ఈవిడ పేరు రచిత. ఈవిడ టాప్ డౌన్ అవేకెనింగ్ అనే ప్రక్రియలో అంటే పైనుంచి మనకి విశ్వశక్తి గాని, శక్తిపాతం లాంటిది గాని జరిగి మనలో ఆధ్యాత్మిక జాగృతి జరిగినప్పుడు దానిలో మనం ముందుకు వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మనకి కాంతి దేహం అనేది తయారవుతుంది ఒక దశలో. అయితే ఈవిడ ఇలాంటి ఆధ్యాత్మిక జాగృతిలో చాలా ముందుకెళ్ళిపోయారు. ముందుకెళ్ళిపోవటం వలన ఈవిడకి 7th లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఇనిషియేషన్ దాకా వచ్చారు. నేను గతంలో టాప్ డౌన్ అవేకెనింగ్ ప్రక్రియలో 7 స్థాయిల్లో మనకి దీక్ష అనేది ఎలా లభిస్తుంది అనేది దాని మీద వీడియో చేశాను. దానికి లింక్ కింద డిస్క్రిప్షన్ బాక్స్‌లో పెడతాను. ఆ వీడియో తప్పక చూడండి. నేను చెప్పేది మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. అయితే ఈవిడ ఇంచుమించు 6, 7వ దశలోకి వచ్చేసారు. దాని మూలంగా ఈవిడికి సమాధి స్థితులు, ఆనంద స్థితులు అంతేకాకుండా ఈవిడ శంబాల అనేది ఒక చాలా రహస్యకరమైనటువంటి ఒక చోటు. దీనికోసం చాలామంది హిమాలయాలు, టిబెట్ పర్వతాల్లో వెతుకుతూ ఉంటారు. కొంతమంది ఇది నిజంగా ఉంది భూమి మీద, కానీ కనిపించదు మనకి. మన ఆధ్యాత్మిక చైతన్య శక్తి పెరిగే వరకు మనం దాన్ని చూడలేము అని కొంతమంది అంటారు. కొంతమంది ఏమో కాదు, ఇది సూక్ష్మ స్థాయిలో ఉంటుంది. మన శరీర స్పందన పెరిగి మనలో కాంతి దేహం అనేది తయారవుతుంది ఆధ్యాత్మిక ప్రక్రియ చివరిలో. అలాగా మనకి కాంతి దేహం తయారయ్యాక కానీ మనకి ఈ లోకంలోకి ప్రవేశం అనేది అర్హత మనకి రాదు. మరి ఈ లోకంలో ఏమి ఉంటుంది అంటే సిద్ధులు ఉంటారు, యోగులు ఉంటారు. అక్కడ వాళ్ళు వందల వేల సంవత్సరాలు కూర్చుని తపస్సు ధ్యానంలో ఉంటారు. అక్కడ చాలా ఆనందకరమైనటువంటి ఒక మనశ్శాంతితో కూడినటువంటి ఒక వాతావరణం ఉంటుంది. అక్కడ ఉండేటువంటి యోగులకి కాంతి దేహం ఉంటుంది. వాళ్ళు ఇంకా పై లోకాలకి వెళ్ళటానికని చెప్పి అక్కడ వాళ్ళు చాలా దీర్ఘ ధ్యాన స్థితిలో ఉంటారు. అయితే చాలా గురువుల ఆశ్రమాలు, వాళ్ళ శిష్యులు, యోగులు అందరూ ఇక్కడే ఉంటారు అని చాలామంది అంటూ ఉంటారు. దీన్ని రకరకాల సంస్కృతుల్లో రకరకాలుగా వర్ణిస్తూ ఉంటారు. బౌద్ధులు దీన్ని శంబాల అంటే, మనవాళ్ళు దీన్ని సిద్ధాశ్రమం అంటారు. చైనాలో దీన్ని షాంగ్రీలా అంటారు. నేను ఎంతో మందితో మాట్లాడా కానీ దీన్ని చూసొచ్చిన వాళ్ళు మొదటిసారి నేను ఈవిడ్నే చూస్తున్నాను. ఈవిడ అక్కడి దాకా వెళ్ళి ఆ సిద్ధాశ్రమం లేదా శంబాలాని చూసి వచ్చారు. ఆ అనుభవం ఆవిడ ఇక్కడ మనకి వర్ణిస్తున్నారు. ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఉంది. నేను దీన్ని మీకు కాస్త చెప్పున మీకు తెలుగులో అనువాదం చేసి మీకు ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఒక సారాంశం మీకు చెప్తాను.
Thank you for having me, Shelja ji. First of all, thanks to you for being my guide throughout this journey. So once again, I am Rachita and I belong from a very small city called Shimla in India, which is, I think, nestled in the Shivalik ranges of the Himalayas. I was 17-year-old teenager, lost in life. What I remember about myself, since childhood, I was a person who, an empath person. So I knew my traits from the very beginning. I really wanted to be everyone happy around me. I'm talking about my very childhood memories, that I would enter a room and I would observe every person around me to, be happy, whether this person is happy or not. And I'll ensure that I'll make the room happy. So that's how when I grew up, my aim was only to be just happy and, spread happiness around. So that's when I got to know about this practice, that, this practice talks about self-purification and purifying your mind and becoming a Buddha. Everybody is a Buddha. So it was sort of a new concept for me because I had never heard about universe and cosmos and all these things.
ఈవిడ ఏమంటున్నారంటే ఈవిడ హిమాచల్ ప్రదేశ్ షిమ్లా ఈవిడ జన్మస్థానం. ఈవిడ పెరిగింది కూడా అక్కడే. అయితే ఈవిడికి 17 ఏళ్ళప్పుడు ఈవిడ ఒక బుద్ధిస్ట్ మంత్ర ఎవరో ఈవిడికి అది పరిచయం చేశారు. ఆ చిన్న వయసులో ఆ మంత్రాన్ని రోజు చదువుకుంటుండేవారు. ఆ మంత్రం చదువుకునేటప్పుడు వారి దేహంలో చాలా ఆధ్యాత్మిక మార్పులు జరిగేవని, అప్పటిదాకా ఆవిడికి మనం స్వస్థత అనేది మనకి రావాలి, మనకి స్పందన పెరగాలి, మన పాత గాయాల్లోంచి మనం బయటికి రావాలి, మనకి మానసికంగా మనలో ఉన్నటువంటి దౌర్బల్యాలు పోవాలి, అరిషడ్ వర్గాల్ని జయించాలి అనే ఆలోచనలు అప్పటిదాకా ఆవిడకి అవి తెలీదు. అయితే ఈవిడికి ఈ మంత్ర చాంటింగ్ చేస్తూ వాళ్ళ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ ఈ ఆలోచనలన్నీ వాళ్ళు ఈవిడకి పరిచయం చేయటం మూలంగా ఈవిడ తన ఆధ్యాత్మిక ప్రయాణాన్ని మొదలుపెట్టారు 17వ ఏటే.
A philosophy of mantra at a very young age, and I continued it for 17 years. So now I feel it was some divine power behind me pushing and propelling me to continue this, because I know myself. I was a youth who just wanted to live, day to day ka bas ek din kat jaye and you're happy with that. I did not have any goals in life. I did not have any ambition in life. But this was something that I just felt like I just want to continue with it. So yeah.
Wonderful. I think, when you're an evolved soul, people generally want to raise the consciousness, being in a state of happiness, a state of joy, spreading happiness and joy. I think it comes naturally for people who are
Yeah.
spiritually evolved souls, and hence the choices they make or the direction their life takes due to other, painful situations that they sort of experience in life. I think it takes them onto the spiritual path. And somehow they get hooked on to these ideas, right? Some path will fascinate them, some path will pull them, attract them, and then there they are, sailing towards their goal. That is the, what do I say, becoming a Buddha or reaching, sainthood or enlightenment or just release from cycles of life and death.
I'll tell you, initially when I started my practice, it was more about I was a young child. So we were told that, you are the universe, you pray to universe, you manifest anything in your life. And in Buddhism, it is very clearly stated about that earthly desires will only lead you to enlightenment. Mostly, other practices tell you to leave your desires and then, just leave your desire. It's not easy to leave your desire in a material world. So, what I realize now that we were taught according to the capacity of the person at that moment. So I used to chant for this desire, that desire. Every desire used to be fulfilled. And then I found my connection towards universe more, like more close. That yes, I prayed for something and I got it. But along with the prayer, then after 7 years or so, you can say, then my prayers became more about reforming myself. So during that reformation time, I did notice that there were the inner mud coming out from you. Naturally, I would just think about past, and past traumas would come out. And I got into an awareness mode. Anytime I would be angry on someone, I would just, check on myself that, why did I react like that? So it was a lot of grueling and grilling and polishing myself. It wasn't easy, honestly. But mostly when I really felt that it went all from relationship karma to health issues to finances to everything, it was in my past 7 years that this progress was, the spiritual progress was really speeding up. So I realized from every angle, every area of my life, I was just losing it. Losing it to finally maybe understand all realities
Find
of life.
yourself at a higher level. Once
Yes.
it's only when you lose yourself, you find yourself. It's like you're rediscovering yourself at a higher vibrational state. And of course, to add to what you said, desires, there are desires which are of lower vibration nature, and there are desires which are of higher vibration nature.
True.
So in the spiritual path, we have to let go of the desires which are lower in vibratory state. But then the desires which are of higher vibratory state, there's nothing wrong in dwelling upon those desires until later on, when we mature to the process, the main desire, that is the desire to get moksha or release from the cycles of life and death, you need it. If you don't have it, then you will not aim or work towards it. In my mails to you, you always spoke about, experiencing bliss states, oneness. So can you just explain to the audience how this is felt in your body? How do you feel it as an experience?
So, like I told you, I just returned from my pilgrim when all this happened. So it was in June when I went to Japan and I came back, and my body suddenly, I felt there was some purging sort of thing happened. For 1 month, I was in suddenly I was struck with cold, cough, and everything was coming out, allergies here and there. I couldn't eat a single thing. I was just I do suffer from autoimmune. I think that was also a part of the process.
Yes.
Now I understand. Now I understand everything. But the moment that 1 month passed, and I was obviously continuing doing my chanting, and I've been a rigorous chanter. I have never left it behind. So there was just one moment when I found myself in Stellar Gateway. I did not know, honestly. In Buddhism, we do not talk about, in my Buddhism, we do not talk about chakras and anything. So for me, they are very new. We just talk about attaining that supreme state of happiness, attaining Buddhahood, enlightenment, and purifying your mind. But chakras and everything, we do not talk about that. So it was definitely something, a new concept for me. And I suddenly see myself in a purple tunnel. There's some bright star just reflecting on my eye. So much strong the effulgence was that my eyes started tearing at that moment. And there was some higher consciousness speaking to me. It said many things. It showed me the past lifetimes that you've been working and taking births so many times, and now you're this close. So not a voice talking to me, but it was my higher consciousness just giving me the answer telepathically. And after that episode, there was a relief for 10 days, and then those electrical impulses, and as if I've been put on charging, all that happened. And then I used to feel the pranic energy, all these terminologies. Please forgive me if I use wrong and incorrect terminology. Okay. It's absolutely new for me, this concept. But then after 10 days of being electrically, charged or whatever it was, I started seeing signs, symbols, and deities. And that's when I started searching for someone to guide me in this journey, what's happening to me.
ఈవిడేమంటున్నారంటే ఈవిడికి అనుకోకుండా చక్రాలు అనేవి అనుభవంలోకి వచ్చాయి. ముఖ్యంగా తలపైన సోల్ స్టార్ చక్ర అనేది ఉంటుంది. ఇది టాప్ డౌన్ అవేకనింగ్ అయ్యే వాళ్ళకి ఇది ఒక తలపైన వెలుగులా కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది. ఒక నక్షత్రం లాగా, లేదంటే ఒక సూర్యుడిలాగా తలపైన కనిపిస్తుంది. మనకి ప్రక్రియలో ఆఖరణ మనకి ఈ సోల్ స్టార్ చక్రతో మనకి అనుసంధానం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. అంటే మనకి కుండలిని జాగృతంలో సహస్రార చక్రం ఎలాంటిదో టాప్ డౌన్ అవేకనింగ్ లో సోల్ స్టార్ అలాంటిదన్నమాట. అయితే దీంతో మనకి అనుసంధానం అయినప్పుడు మనకి ఆనంద స్థితులు, మనకి మన జన్మ రహస్యం తెలియటం, మనం అంతక్రితం ఎన్ని జన్మలు ఎత్తాము, మనం ఇప్పుడు ఈ జన్మలో నేర్చుకున్న దానికి వచ్చిన అనుభవాలకి, తర్వాత మనం చేసే పనికి సంబంధం ఏమిటి, ఇలా మన జీవిత రహస్యం లేదంటే జన్మ రహస్యం మనకి అర్థమవుతుంది. అంతేకాకుండా ఇక్కడ మనం సోల్ స్టార్ చక్రతో అనుసంధానం అవటం మూలంగా మనకి శంబాల, నేను ఈ వీడియో మొదట్లో శంబాల గురించి చెప్పాను కదా, ఒక సూక్ష్మ ప్రదేశం అనుకోవచ్చు మీరు దాన్ని. అది ఒక పై స్థాయి స్పందన లోకం. మనం జననం అన్న చక్రాల్లోంచి బయటికి వచ్చాక, అంటే టాప్ డౌన్ అవేకనింగ్ లో ఇక్కడి నుంచి తర్వాత కాంతి దేహంలో ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తాము అంటే ఈ శంబాల లేదంటే సిద్ధాశ్రమాకి వెళ్తాము. అక్కడ గురువులు, అక్కడ ఇంకా మనిషి ఆధ్యాత్మికంగా ఎదగడానికి కావాల్సినటువంటి ఒక వాతావరణం అక్కడ ఉంటుందన్నమాట. ఏ గురువులైతే మీకు తెలియకుండా మీకు భూమి మీద సహాయం చేశారో, ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఆ గురువు యొక్క పర్యవేక్షణలో మీ మిగతా ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధన అక్కడ చేస్తారన్నమాట. అదే ఈ అమ్మాయి సోల్ స్టార్ అని చెప్తోంది.
So bliss, when I felt that the pranic energy used to come up, and the first ever bliss that I felt was, I think one of your videos you also mentioned that you feel like a mist sort of a thing falling on your head, and it was like a white light, and I can't even explain what it feels when it happened. It wasn't light, sort of a light, but it was, I cannot even mention what it was, but bliss. It was total bliss. So post that, then I saw various deities in my dreams.
Which deities did you see?
So initially it was Shiv and Krishna, half and half I saw them. And post that I saw a Shiv Samadhi in front of me for, I think, continuously for 10 days. So even when I was not meditating, in a daytime when I would just shut my eyes, I would see a Samadhi of Shivji in front of me. So that happened for 10 days. And then I think not it wasn't a single day that was not full of different experiences. Every day was a new day for me. Post that, I saw Krishna and entire blue body. I saw his feet, and I feel, touch wood, I feel very grateful for him to come in my life at a moment when I was completely lost. I think I was at the edge of my everything. I had done every sort of remedies to purify myself and everything, that, I want to work here, I want to work on myself here. But I was at a point where I felt that what do I do more than this? And that's when I felt that I want to just surrender to the universe. Now universe will guide me. And that's when all the process happened. So mostly it was Krishna for me. But otherwise, I've seen all versions of deities, and everything that you talk about mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you spoke about seeing the soul star chakra, the chakra that is there on top of the head, right? So how was that experience? And when that was happening with you, what changes did you feel happening in your body and mind?
So that has happened quite recently, very recently. I'll say only 10 days back, I started seeing that star symbol. So prior to that, I was feeling a lot of electromagnetic, what do you call it? That sort of energy over my body.
Yes, the
I
auric
could feel,
field.
yeah, I could feel my, at mostly when I would meditate or even at night, I could feel some sensations over my body, and mostly my lower body. And I did notice that it felt a little odd, because I felt maybe there's a little presence also in the room. I don't know. I'm not pretty sure about that, but I did feel that it didn't feel like a very magnetic sort of a thing, but I felt like somebody's touching me all over the blanket and over the body. But it felt very pure. It felt very pure, and I wasn't scared about that. So few days into that, samadhi used to happen, everything, but my samadhi pattern also changed. Earlier, I used to be in samadhi. I just used to experience that stillness of mind. But nowadays, I feel after that stillness of mind, there would be a rush of energy here. So when I reach that point of stillness, and there'll be some rush of energy immediately that reaches here, and then I'll feel a lot of vibration over this area. And that's when I started seeing that star for 2-3 days altogether.
And after seeing that star, what was that effect of seeing it? Did you feel any higher states after that?
Yes. So after that star stage, usually in samadhi, I almost never see any pictures or images or any dreams. But one, I noticed that I started seeing past life images. There was some Somalian woman created right in front of me, and my inner consciousness was telling me that this is your past life. So that episode happened, and right after that, I just entered a place where I saw a pyramid right in front of me. So it wasn't a pyramid. I've been to Giza in Egypt. It's a very huge one. But what I saw right in front of me was pyramidal structure, but very slender, tall, and very tall and edgy on the top.
Okay.
So I tried to brush that thought aside. I just thought that, okay, it's just a picture. But then I realized I was astral traveling. So while I was traveling and I was trying to enter that place, I saw that there were many people, yogis, I would clearly say that, because I could clearly see them, very transparent and whitish, maybe, this very beautiful white color. It was
yes,
like
I understand.
Yes, illuminating sort of white. So they were suspended in the air in a proper dhyana mudra, and yes, I just saw them, and I was passing through them, and they were not disturbed by my passing. That's what I noticed. And then I landed on the gates of that place, and that was it. And then I couldn't see anything further, but I did realize that now in samadhis, when I reach certain states, I'm right away waking up in the morning. Okay. So earlier I used to pick myself up from samadhi and I used to take some water here and there, and I used to walk around kitchen and then sleep again. But I realized that I was losing that time when I would be in samadhi and when I would be sleeping or awake. So I would just get up in the morning, and I was getting up very tired. Like even after a long night's sleep, I was getting up very tired, and then later on the very next day, I felt like I need to address this question to someone, or maybe my higher consciousness, that why am I waking up tired? Usually samadhi makes you very fresh.
Yes.
So very next day I noticed that my subconsciously, it was higher consciousness, I don't know, it started addressing my questions. So I would feel some pulsation in the mind. It would just, it would pulsate, and every pulsation had a word. And every pulsation created a word, and the words created a sentence, and things that I was not addressing to anyone. I was not asking anybody, why is this happening to me, this, that. It's just that samadhi state, those things were going around in my mind. So I felt something was answering me. They have started answering me, and those answers are definitely not coming from me.
Yeah, and all this is happening more after the soul star chakra that you saw on top of your head. So it has helped connect in a particular way. And I think that the astral traveling you did was to Shambhala, or the Siddhashrama as it is called in India, where you have the higher order beings who have come out of the cycles of life and death, and who are doing their further spiritual practice, meditative practices in a higher realm. And that is where, many of them with a top-down awakening process, all of them with a top-down awakening process, that is the place where they want to go to, so that they can continue their journey further. So you've been to Shambhala or Siddhashrama, which is a mystical place which people talk about, but people are searching for this place externally. They think it is somewhere there in the Himalayas, or they think it is some mystical place which is long gone, but still in the memories of people. So I think that is the place that you visited or saw. And many who reach a high level in the spiritual awakening process, many of them see this. But the first time I'm talking to somebody who's actually seen it. I mean, speaking to a lot of people, I guess you are far ahead of many others. So most probably a light body should get created very soon. Place, how did it feel like? Can you recall, any sensations about that place? How did you feel there? Was there any sense of feeling there?
No, the feeling was very serene. When I noticed, my focus was exactly placed at the structure, first of all. So honestly telling you, it was exactly like a pyramid, but it was not broad. It was not as broad as the pyramid. It was very pointy. And when later on I also researched about Shambhala, I realized, okay, it looks quite similar. It's just that the outer structure was very much like a pyramid. So in fact, like I told you, I wanted to brush off that vision only, because I thought maybe it's just coming like that only. But when I noticed myself that, no, I am traveling here. And it was a pure bliss thing. And honestly, when I saw the yogis suspended in the air, that was like as if there are hundreds and thousands of people who have reached this stage and they are already here. I don't know, maybe they are astrally there, or how are they there? I couldn't figure out. All I knew that I could just have that vision to entering till the gate, and then nobody showed me anything further. So I just fell off sleep. And maybe
actually, your experience is giving me goosebumps. Because very few, have that kind of an experience. ఈవిడేం చెప్తున్నారు అంటే, ఈవిడకి ఒంట్లో విద్యుత్ సంచలనాలు అనేవి, తర్వాత ఎలక్ట్రోమాగ్నెటిక్ ఫీల్డ్ అనేది విపరీతంగా ప్రవహించటం, ఒళ్ళంతా వీడికి విద్యుత్ సంచలనాలు లేకపోతే ఆ కదలికలు అనేది బాగా ఒక 10 రోజులు విపరీతంగా తెలియటం, ముఖ్యంగా తలపైన భాగంలో చాలా విద్యుత్ శక్తి ప్రవాహం తెలియటం. అదంతా అయ్యాక 10 రోజుల తర్వాత ఈవిడ సోల్ స్టార్ చక్ర అనేది, తర్వాత ఈవిడికి సూక్ష్మ శరీర యానం, ఈవిడ సిద్ధాశ్రమకి వెళ్ళారు. అది ఈవిడికి ఎలా కనిపించింది అంటే, ఆవిడ కూర్చున్నప్పుడు కళ్ళు మూసుకున్నప్పుడు ఆవిడ ఎక్కడో కదులతో తిరుగుతున్నట్టుగా అనిపించింది సూక్ష్మలోకాల్లో. ఆవిడకది 3వ కంట్లో కనిపిస్తోంది. ఆవిడ ఒక ప్రదేశానికి చేరారు. ఆ ప్రదేశం చాలా ప్రశాంతంగా, అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాక ఈవిడికి చాలా ఆనందంగా అనిపించటం. అయితే ఆ ప్రదేశంలో పిరమిడ్ లాంటి ఆకారాలు అక్కడ ఆవిడ కనిపించాయి. అయితే అక్కడ ఆవిడ గాలిలో తేలుతున్నటువంటి కొన్ని వందల వేల యోగుల్ని చూసింది. వీళ్ళందరికీ తెల్ల కాంతి దేహం అనేది ఉంది. వాళ్ళు దీర్ఘ ధ్యాన స్థితిలో అక్కడ ఉన్నారు. అలా కొన్ని వేల యోగులు ఇలా కూర్చుని ఉన్నారు. అయితే ఈవిడ ఆ యోగుల మధ్యలో గాల్లో ఎగురుతూ ఆ ప్రదేశాన్నంతా చూస్తూ ఆ సమయంలో ఈవిడకి ఒంట్లో చాలా ఆనందంగా అనిపించింది అలా తిరుగుతున్నప్పుడు అక్కడ. తర్వాత ఆవిడని తీసుకొచ్చి ఆ ప్రదేశం ఒక గేట్స్ ఉంటాయి చూడండి. అక్కడ ఆవిడని వదిలేశారు. వదిలేశాక ఆవిడకి కళ్ళు తెరుచుకున్నాయి. ఇది ఆవిడ అప్పుడది శంబాలాకెళ్ళాను అన్న సంగతి ఆవిడకి అర్థం కాలేదు. నేను నా గత వీడియోస్‌లో కూడా చెప్పాను. ముఖ్యంగా ఈ 7 లెవెల్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇనిషియేషన్ ఇన్ ఎ టాప్ డౌన్ అవేకెనింగ్ అని. దాంట్లో ఏం చెప్పాను అంటే మీకు 7th లెవెల్‌లో మీకు శంబాలా దాన్ని చూడటం గానీ, మీరక్కడికి వెళ్ళటం గానీ, అక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి మీ గురువులు గానీ, లేదంటే అక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి యోగుల్ని గానీ దర్శించటం. అంటే ఈ భూమి మీద మన జీవితకాలం అయిపోయాక మనం తర్వాత వెళ్ళే ప్రదేశం ఏమిటి అంటే అది. అది మనం చూసి రావటం. దాంతో మనకొక సంబంధం అనేది 7th లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఇనిషియేషన్‌లో ఏర్పడుతుందని నేను చెప్పాను. అక్కడి దాకా వెళ్ళాక ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఆ మనిషికి తిరిగి భూమి మీదకి మళ్ళీ వచ్చాక పై స్థాయి ఒక గొంతు అనొచ్చు, లేదంటే ఈ విశ్వం ఒక వాణి అనొచ్చు. దానితో సంబంధం ఏర్పడుతుంది. మనం అడిగే ప్రశ్నలన్నింటికి మనకి పైనుంచి జవాబులు వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. లోపల వేరే ఏదో మనకి ఒక సంకేతం రూపంలో, శబ్ద రూపంలో ముందు మనకి చాలా విషయాలు మన తలలోకి దిగుతాయి. అవి రాంగానే మనకి అర్థం తెలీదు. కొంతకాలం పడుతుంది. ఆ వచ్చిన విషయం మనకి అర్థం అవ్వటానికి, అది మనకి ఒక మాటల రూపంలోకి మారటానికి, లేదంటే ఒక అవగాహన, అనుభవం రూపంలోకి మారటానికి కొంతకాలం పడుతుంది. అలా వచ్చాక ఏమవుతుందంటే, మనకి తిన్నగా ఈ విశ్వంలో ఉన్నటువంటి జ్ఞానంతో, ఒక పై స్థాయి శక్తితో మనకి తిన్నగా ఒక సంపర్కం అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది. రాను రాను మనకి ఈ సందేశాలు మనం అడిగేది దానికి వచ్చే సమాధానం సందేశ రూపంలో అది మనకి చాలా తేలిగ్గా అర్థం అవటం మొదలుపెడుతుంది. దానికి కొంతకాలం పడుతుంది. కాకపోతే 7th లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఇనిషియేషన్ వచ్చిన వాళ్ళకి ఈ తలపైన ఉన్నటువంటి సోల్ స్టార్ చక్ర అనేది, అంటే ఇంచుమించు మనకి సహస్రార చక్రం లాంటిది అనుకోండి. దాంతో మనకి అనుసంధానం అవటం వలన మనకి ఆనంద స్థితులు, సమాధి స్థితులు, సూక్ష్మ శరీరయానం, శంబాలా లాంటి చోట్లకి వెళ్ళగలగటం, మనం కూర్చుని దగ్గరే మనం మనలాగా ఆధ్యాత్మికంగా ఎదిగిన వాళ్ళతో మాట్లాడగలిగేటువంటి శక్తి. ఇలా మనకి ఇంకా ముందుకెళ్ళే కొద్దీ ఇలాంటి సిద్ధుల మీద మనకి పట్టు అనేది వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడే ఈ అమ్మాయికి అనుభవం అయింది. మున్ముందు ఏంటంటే ఇలాంటి సిద్ధుల మీద ఈ అమ్మాయికి పట్టు వస్తుంది. క్రమేపీ ఇంకా ఆవిడలో స్పందన పెరిగే కొద్దీ కొంత ఈ జరిగిన అనుభవం ఆవిడ శరీరం ఇముడ్చుకునేసరికి ఆవిడకి ఎలా వాడుకోవాలో అర్థమవుతుంది. దాంతో ఆవిడకి ఏంటంటే ఈ సిద్ధులు ఇంకా ఇంకా ఆవిడకి ఉపయోగకరంగాను, ఆవిడకి ఒక దిశ అనేది జీవితంలో వస్తాయి. అంతేకాకుండా ఈ స్థాయి వరకు వెళ్ళి వచ్చాక వీళ్ళకి భూమి మీద చేయాల్సిన పని అనేది ఉంటుంది. దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా వాళ్ళని నిద్ర పోతున్నప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి తీసుకెళ్ళి వేరే లోకాల్లో, సూక్ష్మ లోకాల్లో వాళ్ళకి శిక్షణ అనేది ఇవ్వటం. ఇలాంటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే నిద్రపోయి లేచినా కూడా అలసట ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత వాళ్ళు భూమి మీద ఏం పని చెయ్యాలి మానవాళి కోసం అనేది వాళ్ళకి పైనుంచే ఆదేశాలు వస్తాయి. దానికి అనుసారంగా వాళ్ళు ఇక్కడ భూమి మీద పనిచేస్తారు. ఈవిడకి కూడా అలాగే జరిగింది. అదే ఇప్పుడు ముందు ఇప్పుడు వీడియోలో చెప్తారు. అంతేకాకుండా ఆవిడకి చెప్పటం జరిగింది ఏమిటి అంటే, ఎక్కడికో వెళ్ళి ఏదో చేసేయాలి, ఏదో సాధించాలని తపన పడిపోతున్నావు, అదంతా అవసరం లేదు. ఉన్న చోట నువ్వు ఆనందంగా ఉండటం నేర్చుకో. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ క్షణంలో బ్రతకటం నేర్చుకో. ముందు నీకు అది వచ్చాక తర్వాత నువ్వు ఏం చేయాలో మేము చెప్తాము అని ఈ గురువులు కానీ, లేదంటే ఈవిడ ఆశ్రమం తాలూకు వాళ్ళు కానీ, లేదంటే ఆ పై స్థాయి శక్తి ఏదైతే మాట్లాడుతుంది ఈవిడ తలలో, అది ఈవిడికి ఆ సంగతి చెప్పిందనమాట. ఇది ఈ ఇంటర్వ్యూ యొక్క సారాంశం. యు స్పోక్ అబౌట్ దట్ you were not feeling relaxed or fresh when you woke up from sleep. So
Yeah.
what was the reason for it?
I have no idea. But yes, when I told you, I started addressing this question because there were two, three questions that were really bothering me in my mind. One was, why am I waking up tired? Because I have faced this fatigue syndrome long back also, 7 years back, I suppose, when my this entire spiritual awakening journey started. And as soon as I felt the top down awakening this time, I was very happy to have my energy back. After, I would meditate, I would be full of energy. Like, I have never felt this energy since past 7 years. So suddenly I am now waking up tired. So I wanted to address it to someone, and I was not asking anybody actually. So that's when I thought, okay, I'll meditate and let me just put this question to the universe. So that's when I told you that typing sort of messaging I started getting from some higher consciousness, which was not my language. And there was another thing that I was deeply worried about was because that my 17 years of journey in my older Buddhist practice, now I feel somewhere, I deep down feel that I need to move a little step forward from that.
Mm.
So I'm not too much involved in that right now because I'm searching for other things. So I address this question also, that what do I do? How do I move ahead? And what is my next mission? Your identities crash at this moment. You don't know what you are and what are you going to be. So this was my question. So right after those dreams, and when I saw my samadhi pattern changed, so this was the answer that I got, was that your mission here is over now. Now you're being trained here. So that's what they told me. And there were too much stresses on just live. Don't live in fear. Your family will be taken care of. And do not worry. Do not look for questions. You will be shown what you have to do. All these things. So I'm just clubbing all the conversations that I have. Yeah. So yes, quite convincing. And even for my practice, that they told me that, because I used to think that only when I'm a part of organization, I'm of some value. So I was given a response to that also, that your original identity is of a bodhisattva, even when you're not a part of any system or organization.
Wonderful.
So that's really alarming for me, because this was my, I think, last identity I had hooked to. Every identity had fallen apart, but I thought, now my life is just for this, this organization I'm a part of. But then I realized, oh yes, I was also living on a false perception that only when I am attached to certain organization, only then I am a human and I'll be able to contribute towards humanity. But I was given this answer, that your identity is bodhisattva and not of any particular organization. So a lot of clarity. Yeah.
How do you want to take forward this experience into your future? I mean, are you waiting for your spirit guides or a message from a higher power, or do you have any plans?
No plans. No plans at all.
You've learned to go with the flow, is it?
Yeah, like I'm really living at the moment, and knowing the person I was, Sheljaji, I used to plan 2-3 months ahead. I don't know what I'll be doing 1 hour later. I don't know what I'll be doing after I end this interview. So I am just going with the flow. I am not just allowed to plan. I don't know. I don't think so. I've become a vessel now. So my prayer only to the universe is just this now. Just make me whatever you want to make me, and make me do whatever you want me to do. So that's my only. Yeah.
You become, so the identity, the lower identity that I am so and so, it got replaced by, some higher level. I think we take on a higher level identity, like you move away from the individual spirit to being a universal spirit. And through this movement, the various levels of conditioning that we have, our inner content, everything gets cleared out. We become an empty container. And once we become an empty container, you are just relaxed and you're just watching life pass by. It's more like you're living in awareness now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not caught up in the past or in the future. And this moment where you are in time is just so beautiful, right?
Yeah, so true.
Yes, and when you really soak into that present moment, it is a bliss state.
Agree. Totally. I really have no idea what I am going to become after this. I'm not becoming anything, honestly.
Correct.
I am. So it's just that. And living, honestly, 17 years of this faith that I practice, it did talk about that, your supreme state, Buddhahood is nothing but that supreme state of absolute happiness.
Hmm.
And I think that, okay, maybe Buddhahood, you get promoted to Buddhahood when you just die and you go up there. I really did not know what was coming, and it's a state right here in the now, here and now. So this is what I was yearning for. And I am not pretty sure if this is stable, but I'm not thinking about any repercussions.
Okay.
So I just want to go with
just soaking into the present moment, the bliss, right?
Yeah.
And the awareness that is there right now with you, right? You're just awareness. Wonderful. And I think most of this major shift happened within you when you saw the soul star chakra on top of your head, right? Something like a star on top of your head.
Yeah.
Right.
The samadhi state totally changed after that. It totally changed.
I have one question for you. Did you ever feel a kind of a blast in your head here, the fontanel region? Did you feel it? No. Okay. Because there is always a confusion between two different schools of thought where, they say only Kundalini is the path to God. And there are other paths through which, we can experience the higher states of bliss, and that is the top-down awakening. So here in top-down awakening, the fontanel region is not bursting open because you have the Brahmarandra here, right? But that bursts open in the Kundalini process alone. So it just goes in line with what you said, that you had a top-down awakening. And through top-down awakening, for how many years did this awakening go in your body?
So like I told you, when I noticed the bodily changes, it's exactly been 7 years.
7 years. So you took nearly 7 years. I think maybe the process must have started much earlier than that, but then it came to your notice 7 years ago. And for you to integrate the changes that the has brought about, it took you 7 years.
True.
Yes, the integration is allowing you to come into the present moment, experience various bliss states. It's wonderful.
And thank you for all your videos, because honestly, I really feel that now that clarity has come, it's not only my practice that takes you and leads you here. I have come across so many people who are into different mantra chanting and different practices. I did not know yoga also leads into all these things.
Yes.
I had no idea about all these things. So now I really feel that to everyone who's listening this thing, that just follow your calling. Just follow your calling, whatever. And I don't think so our life is under our control. We have the will, but the main will is there. Yes. And I was never a person who would go to temples. Honestly, a very liberal Hindu family. You want to go to a puja, you go. You want to go to temple, you go. I have truly, through my Buddhist practice, I have become a better Hindu now. So yeah, Hindu and whatever, it's all one, we know now ultimately.
Yes. It's just that the paths are different, and most of this process within our body happens under the supervision of our astral gurus. You only get to see the guru, much later in the process, once, reach the advanced level. Until then, the guru does not get revealed to us. So no matter what path you're following, it will lead you there, as long as, you're changing yourself internally. You are purging, you are becoming a better person. And let it be mantra chanting, let it be meditation, or, just dancing, singing, learning, yoga, anything, any path, or just the tantric path, all paths, Vedanta, they all lead to that particular goal, which is, or rather the goal itself of all these paths is to take you into union with God. So
absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being part of my channel. And I'm sure the viewers will benefit by your presence. Thank you.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.